Battle for Cahbaet. If we go through this door now, will we die? Don't be silly, Dramir snapped at his younger brother, aggressive as usual. Nobody is going to die, especially not you. Garrett lowered his head quickly. If you say so. He could not bring his squeaky voice he hated so much to say much else. You're bound to know, Dramir. With his muscular arm, Dramir pushed his little brother hastily behind him for protection, and lay his strong fingers tightly on the doorknob. Their only hope was for them to not be seen by the Chancellor's soldiers as they hurried out, for there was no other way out of the house. Slowly, he opened the door slightly and peered through the gap. The coast seemed to be clear, for the meantime, anyway. Right, listen to me, he began to say, after he had closed the door again. Garrett, now standing in front of him, was scared. In a moment, we will run out of the house, and into the next ring of the city, Dramir explained patiently, though he was very tense. His brother gave him a slight nod. You know the way to the gate, don't you? Whatever happens, always keep your eye on the path and stay close behind me. If the soldiers catch up with us... Dramir felt anxious for a moment, but regained his composure again. Well, that won't happen. The situation swept fear into Garrett's heart. Even his brother, his big strong brother Dramir, seemed to be frightened of the Chancellor's soldiers who, just a few minutes ago, had broken through the gate to the northern part of town. Go! Resounded Dramir's muffled cry. It sounded as if he wanted to turn all his nervous and scared tension into wild determination. The street had a fair amount of sharp bends, which made it impossible to spy out oncoming soldiers in advance. Garrett kept his eyes stoically on his brother's broad back, if only to have a trusted benchmark in the chaos that had suddenly descended upon them. The mild wind carried not only the pungent smell of burning to them, but also the threatening sound of a battle being fought nearby. Dramir ran quickly, and Garrett was having difficulties keeping up with him. On top of that, his little legs felt numb with fear. Fear that could change to panic at any moment. From behind every bend, out of every alleyway, Chancellor Baratheon's soldiers could storm out, and would they not hesitate for long? The Chancellor, Garrett had learned from his older brother, has no mercy on renegades and rebels, though little Garrett did not understand why he was a rebel, and even less why the soldiers wanted to kill him. There's the gate, over there, Dramir cheered, still running, and looked over his shoulder to make sure Garrett was still behind him. Only his little brother saw the sword swinging at him, but Dramir felt it as it slid his stomach open. They had been seen by the soldiers. Dramir sank to the ground. Garrett's high-pitched cry did not last long, for as two guards of the northern part of town rushed up and slew the Chancellor's soldier, who had struck Dramir with his sword. The young boy could not even move his limbs anymore, and froze, horrified at the sight of death, his eyes opened wide. Every sound he wanted to make stuck in his throat, and it seemed to suffocate him. Damn it, Garrett, Dramir gasped. Run to the gate, damn. Go through the gate. One of the guards lifted the frozen Garrett off his feet and rushed him towards the gate, as the other attended to Dramir, trying to bring him to the safety of the next ring. However, the Chancellor's soldiers did not let him go far. Garrett managed it. Suddenly, he was on the other side of the gate, in safety, but his big brother Dramir was gone. He was still afraid, very afraid in fact. The calls of the Chancellor's soldiers echoed over the city ring walls. Baratheon shows no mercy for the renegades of the northern town, a rough voice cried, sounding like a hangman on his way to the gallows. All rebels here are condemned to death. In the middle of cars, rushing around in haste, little Garrett stood frightened and lost. The Chancellor had captured the first part of the northern town, and it was just a matter of time for the other parts. "Death to the rebels!" voices resounded again and again. How he or his brother had been more than just citizens of the northern town, Garrett did not know. In fact, in his childish innocence, he did not even know what a rebel was.